Message is for all the ICE agents out there today. When Donald Trump's reign of terror is over, we will be rounding you all up and putting you in jail. We're going to raid and destroy your homes. We're going to handcuff you and take you away in front of your families for breaking the Constitution of the United States of America. That's why we hold cameras to your face, so that we can have facial recognition for when Donald Trump's out of office. Because the tables are gonna turn on you. Me personally, I'll fight a fucking ICE agent. There's nothing illegal of that. They are hiding their faces. They could be criminals. I'll take my chances in court. Fuck around and find out. Have a nice day. Message.
The disrespect of that song. But again, we're going to start here because this isn't a random hot take. It's an open threat on camera, as you just seen, promising to round up ICE agents, raid their homes, and fight agent. This is the temperature of the discourse around ICE right now. Not policy debate, personal vendetta. Now, remember this tone, because now I want you to watch what happens when that hostility gets a cable news gloss.
Inspired? Are you worried about copycats?
Yes. I don't know if the rooftop trend is going to be a thing. I mean, it could just be coincidental that the best vantage point just happened to be elevated positions in this case. But, you know, people emulating this kind of attack is certainly a concern. The irony with the writing, the first time we really saw that was Brenton Tarrant in the Christchurch shooting in a mosque in New Zealand, and he was a fierce, white supremacist and neo-Nazi, and wrote all over his weapon and his rounds very hateful information. So to see this coming from potentially the other side of the political spectrum is a little strange, because it is not something, if you are trying to, carry out some kind of message countering, more extreme right-wing stuff, I don't know why you would, use a tactic that a famous white supremacist who has been revered and copycatted over the years by other white supremacists, why you would do that. But it does appear that people are moving in that direction because they want people to know what they're doing and why they're doing it. Again, terrorism is theater. They want people to understand their message and why they're doing this, and why, in some cases it's a narrow act of violence, and it's not supposed to be a mass murder, although it looks like it's moving a little more in that direction.
So you're hearing an instant storyline. Dallas shooter equals white supremacist because of meme aesthetics and Christchurch references. Notice what's missing. Hard evidence that fits the actual scene. This is narrative scaffolding first. Facts later. And that frame gets reinforced from the very top of blue state politics.
Look, we had a 15-year-old disabled kid in Los Angeles was waiting for his sister to come out of high school, and they pulled out guns on this kid. They pulled out guns and handcuffed this young child. That's happening in the United States of America. Masked men jumping out of unmarked cars, people disappearing, no due process, no oversight, zero accountability, happening in the United States of America today. People ask, well, is authoritarianism, you're being hyperbolic? Bull, we're being hyperbolic. If you're a black and brown community, it's here in this country. And so I'm deeply proud that I had the privilege of signing the nation's first bill to address the issue of masking. Also to require, you have simple identification, to your point. I mean, if some guy jumped out of an unmarked car in a van with a mask on, tried to grab me, I mean, by definition, you're going to push back. And so these are not just authoritarian tendencies. These are authoritarian actions by an authoritarian government. You saw what Stephen Miller said last week. This should put chills up fine. Called the Democratic Party an extremist organization, basically a terrorist organization, saying he's going after his enemies. You saw the tweet that Donald Trump sent out, Truth Social, basically telling Pam Bondi, I want these 3 people taken out. That's happening in the United States. This can't be normalized. None of this can be normalized.
Well, Governor, thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate it.
Governor Gavin Newsom.
Governor Newsom describes ICE like secret police. Masked men, unmarked cars, no due process. Whether you agree or not, rhetoric this absolute primes audiences to see ICE as illegitimate. Then the rhetoric goes a step further, from authoritarian to historical evil.
When I see ICE, I see slave patrols. Now, I never lived through the slave patrol period, but if you know the history of policing in this country, then you understand that they were born out of slave patrols.
Wow. Equating ICE with slave patrols isn't a minor jab. It's a moral how do I say this word? Condemnation. Yeah. If you truly believe an agency is the modern Klan, what actions become justified? That's the danger of absolutists labeling it license. No, let me set it over. That's the danger of them, labeling it, because it's a license for escalation. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, park the talking points. Park them for a second. Let's go to receipts from Dallas.
Well, breaking fuck the news. A man sat upon the top of a roof at a Texas ICE facility location with a rifle and opened fire on detainees.
You see, if you listen to him and many people on the left, they will lead you to believe that the shooter was specifically targeting detainees. That's what he's leading people to believe. That is not true. In reality, he more so indiscriminately shot at that ICE facility. So all the detainees that were hit were either in the van in the Sally Port or right around that van in the Sally Port. Just to kind of give you an example, here's kind of what a Sally Port looks like. This isn't the one in Dallas, I didn't find that, but I just wanted to kind of give you an example so you would have an idea of what we're talking about when we say Sally Port. It helps the officers stop the detainees from escaping while they transfer them from the vehicle to the facility. It also keeps them more safe. So in the process of transporting these detainees to the facilities, the gunman was opening fire. But he didn't only shoot the Sally Port area, he also shot at the secure ICE facility itself. For example, this is inside the facility, and if you look closely at the stars, you can see 2 bullet holes in the glass. In addition to that, you can see this window here. You can see that bullet hole going through the window. The shooter was shooting indiscriminately. Homeland Security confirmed that themselves. But these individuals will immediately come out and try to convince people that a man was targeting detainees at an ICE facility. And if you think about that, it really doesn't make much sense. What do you think is more likely? A man that wants to go try to target detainees that are already captured and already likely going to be deported? Or do you think it's more likely that someone that hates ICE was targeting the facility and these detainees are collateral damage? One is far more likely than the other. Oh, and on top of that, we have more evidence. And above me are some of the cartridges that were found. And if we zoom in on one of these cartridges, it says anti-ICE. This very likely points to the ideological motive behind what the shooter was doing. But again, this doesn't matter because they have a narrative that needs to be pushed. So not all the details are out. More details will come out. But pay attention because many of these people are misleading hundreds of thousands of people into believing that these detainees were targeted specifically. No, they were collateral damage on an attack at an ICE facility. So if you want more truth like this, a great place to get it is my email newsletter. I give you morning updates about what's going on, and I have more in-depth information about things like this. It's one of the only places I can't be censored. The link is in my profile. Just go there, click the link, drop your email in, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go. Anyway, that's all I got for now, and we'll see you in the next one.
So here are the details you weren't shown first. Bullet strikes inside the facility, including framed American flag and recovered casings marked, with anti-ICE on them. That doesn't read target detainees, does it? It reads hit the ICE facility. For me personally, the detainees who were shot were in and around the Sally Port. Tragic. Yes. But all signs point to an attack on ICE. Not on them specifically. So the climate is charged. The media narrative is loaded. And on the street, confrontation follows.
You're in my way. Back up. Back up. Back up.
Don't touch
back
me.
Up.
Don't
Back
touch
up.
me.
Back
Don't
up.
touch me. You're
back
already
up.
here. No way.
Back up. You ball your fist up. Back up.
Don't touch me.
Back up.
Don't
Back
touch
up. Back up. Back up now. Next time I'm afraid. Back up.
¿Cómo se llama?
Back up.
¿Cuál es su nombre? You bitch ass niggas. ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Cuál es el número de teléfono?
That's okay. Back up. 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 Thank you. You're in my way. Back up. Back up.
You're watching
Back.
a live action version of the narrative. Agents treated like villains, arrest physically obstructed, hostility boiling over. This isn't Twitter. It's real agents, real suspects, real danger. Put it all together. And the both sides do it line collapses under its own weight.
That I said anything worthy of that level of explosion.
Your rationalization of both sides. You have to understand, since Kurt's death, there is no both sides anymore, Jessica.
Why did the DOJ take down the study that showed how much right-wing extremism?
What study was that? Which one? The one in The Economist that was sponsored by a group run by a guy in Antifa? That study that has been discredited by the Federalists? You're walking down a really bad alley right now.
Federalists?
Yes. I actually did see, Jessica, I did the deep dive on that study. That study was authored by a project that was run by a guy who says he was an Antifa. That is why that whole thing has been scrubbed, okay? It's real simple. You label someone a fascist or a racist or a Nazi, it makes you free to attack them, and that has been the ideology from the start. It's weird.
So why?
No.
Is it okay when
let me
Donald
talk.
Trump does it.
What?
Just tell me why it's okay. When
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Great. I'm enjoying this.
Okay. You won't be for long. The left calls Trump a hate monger. They've called me a hate monger because I ridicule the left. I ridicule protesters. I ridicule academia, Hollywood, the news media. I make fun of The View every day. I make fun of the UN. Guess what? No one acts on the things that I say because my side doesn't do that. We say people are stupid. We say people are wrong, but we don't say they're evil. That is your game, okay? And then you come and you say, okay, man, this is a mentally ill loner. Well, who do you think does this stuff? It's not Ben Affleck. It's not Tom Brady. It's not even Carrot Top. People who do this stuff are always that way. The question is, who points them in that direction? Why pick ICE? Why pick Kirk? Why target TV stations and put bombs under Fox trucks? Why vandalize memorials? Why kill kids in Catholic schools? Two things can be true. A person can be mentally ill, and you can be guiding him to that place in his life. That is how brainwashing works.
Wow. I mean, speechless. Gutfeld's point lands because it stacks on the evidence. Threats to ICE agents, politicized media spins, and an attack where the ammo literally says anti-ICE. You can tell the shooter, was mentally ill and still acknowledge the ideological targeting. Those aren't contradictions. Those are often companions. So what does that leave us after Dallas? Here's the bottom line. If leaders and the media keeps painting ICE as authoritarian or slave patrols, don't be shocked when unstable people interrupt that as a green light. They're going to go, okay, I see that. Let me go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? Let me interrupt what you're saying, and take in their line of thinking and act on it. I really tried to clean it up, but I was supposed to say, interpret. But hey, it is what it is. Criticize policy, fine. But name your words like they matter, because they do. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you made it to the end, we want the receipts. Y'all be safe. Go check on a friend today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.